Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So before I start today's session, I would like to thank everyone, each and every subscriber. So we recently crossed 12,000 subscribers and we are fast marching towards 15,000 subscribers. And we are also happy to inform that we had recently started automation testing training. We started with Selenium with Java. Trainer name is Rahul. As you can see here, we recently uploaded one demo session to my YouTube channel, and we got very good reach and very good very good response. As you see here, we got 1500 views in just 5 days, right? So this is daily morning batch, guys. This is live training. If anyone want to enroll for live training, or if you or any of your friends want to enroll for live training, so please please reach out to us. So this is 8 to 9 a.m. morning. So this batch has been running from 8 to 9 a.m. morning batch. All right. So we recently started, automation testing training, and also, uh, yeah, we recently started posting, performance testing openings on my YouTube channel, guys. Please subscribe and turn on all notifications, as you see here. So not only, we are collecting this information from various sources and spending a lot of time to collect this information and share it to our subscribers. So as you see here, we posted a few openings in UK and Texas, as you see here, for performance testing, and we are directly sharing their email ID. So please, please subscribe and turn on all notifications, guys, if you haven't subscribed yet. And this is our Amirpet classroom training, guys. So we started a classroom training like 6 months back, last year around October or November. And we recently, we started performance testing 5 years back. We recently completed 5 years, and we recently started, Insta page as well. So please, please follow our Insta page. So we had recently completed 5 years of our training journey. And, so we have been posting a lot of referral openings on my Insta page, as you see here, including fresher openings and, experienced guys openings, right? So any internship for freshers, as you see here. All right. So please follow our Insta page, and we are posting a lot of referral openings, as well as collected from various sources. Not limited to performance testing. And by the way, these are the weekly assessment results of our students. All right. And we are posting any walk-ins or recruitment drives, right? And this is our Madhapur. This is our Amirpet classroom, guys. By the way, this is our Amirpet classroom, and this is our Madhapur conference room, training room. So, all right, guys. Now let me, start our today's concept. So today's session. So today I would like to cover some database tools, particularly DBeaver. There is a universal database tool called DBeaver. Now you may ask me, why do we need to learn these database tools, or for whom is this required, right? So as a performance test engineer, many a times, we may need to use some database tools like MySQL Workbench or DBeaver or DB Visualizer. So no one is using MySQL Workbench. Most of the companies or most of the performance engineers are using DBeaver or DB Visualizer, because these are universal database tools. Now, what is an universal database tool means? Using these database tools, Toad is another tool, by the way. Toad is another database tool. So using these universal database tools like DBeaver or DB Visualizer, we can connect to any database from MySQL open source database tool like MySQL or PostgreSQL to Oracle, right? You can connect to any database. That is why these are popularly called as database, universal database tools. By the way, these are the software required for performance testing training, right? As you see here, Notepad++, Java 64-bit for JMeter, right? And then we are, we are providing LoadRunner performance testing and engineering training with LoadRunner and Dynatrace. So on latest version of LoadRunner, as you see here, and we also, give hands-on experience on MySQL and PostgreSQL, which we'll see in the next session, right? How to, install PostgreSQL and how to, run some SQL queries by using these universal database tools like DBeaver and DB Visualizer. All right. So these are the sample applications that we make our students set up on their local machine, and for their practice, they can if the applications, if the so, and one more thing. So not only basic applications, so we are providing some scripting experience, hands-on experience on enterprise Java applications like Konakart, AOS, etc. And we do make them set up these applications on their local machine so that they can practice, at their convenient time, right? So because most of the participants are online participants, so we do set up these applications on their local machine. All right. And we also cover some database concepts in every batch. So let me quickly show you that. So we cover some database basics, like what are CRUD operations, right? So one of the important interview question, what are CRUD operations? All right. And I think I posted one pic on my Insta page as well. So what is this CRUD operation? So CRUD stands for create, read, update, delete, as you see here. And we also cover some database basic SQL queries like SQL select query, update query, delete query. So we give hands-on experience on this. So for doing this, you can learn and practice some SQL database concepts. You by using some public websites like w3schools.com, right? You have a lot of wonderful tutorials. These are self-learning tutorials that are available on that are available over internet. And in fact, we in the first 2 weeks we encourage everyone to learn some database basic concepts, and we are giving assignments to our students. Let me quickly show you those assignments. For example, this is my May 2024 evening batch, or let me open April 2024 batch, right? And now you can see here, these are some assignments, given on. Hold on. So yeah, here you can see Word and Excel assignments given over here. So let me quickly show you like some assignments given on database as well. Hold on this, just give me a moment. All right, I'll show you that, before our session ends for today. Now let us quickly go to, let us quickly, so basically if you are using a low end machine, and if you don't have, like enough resources, when I say resources, CPU or RAM, sufficient RAM to install any databases on your machine, or, without installing those tools also, you can learn some database concepts using these SQL tutorials available on w3schools.com. Right. So, however, if you are interested to set up some database, install some database on your machine, if you want to practice some queries, so you can install these popularly used tools called DBeaver and DB Visualizer, which I have shown you just now here. Right. So DBeaver and DB Visualizer are the popular tools that are used in corporates nowadays, IT companies nowadays. So in today's session, let me show you how to download and install this DBeaver. What is DBeaver and what are the parameters required to, once we set up the tool, what parameters are required to connect to a database. All right. So to save some time, what I did is like I had downloaded that database, latest version of this DBeaver, as you can see here, and kept it ready. And we also have PostgreSQL installed on my machine. All right. And now, so just Google search for DBeaver download. And if you see here, like you can click on either, you can download either of these files, either Windows zip file or Windows installer file. I had now downloaded Windows installer file. And if you observe here, let me go to the downloads folder. If you observe here, so DBeaver CE stands for Community Edition, guys. Community Edition means nothing but trial version. You see here, Community Edition trial version 24 is the year. So this is the latest version released on June 3rd, 2024, right? And C, please remember that, CE stands for Community Edition. This is the version number, and this can be installed on both 32-bit and 64-bit operating systems, right? X86 stands for 32-bit operating system, and 64 stands for the current 64-bit operating systems. So this can be installed on either 32-bit or 64-bit operating systems. Now let me quickly start installation. It should be simple and straightforward. By default English language will be there, right? and it also supports multiple international languages. And this feature is called as internationalization. Any software supporting international languages is called as internationalization, also called as I-18N, right? So let me quickly go ahead and install the DBeaver tool. I want to install this DBeaver for anyone who uses this computer, not just me. So let me click on next. So this is the default folder into which DBeaver will be installed. Space required is 150 MB, and it is also showing the space available as 80 GB. So I don't want to create a shortcut. So, like that's fine. I'll skip it and I click on install. I had also installed PostgreSQL, guys. So, like to practice, if you want to practice some SQL queries, or I had also installed PostgreSQL on my machine. So let me quickly show you that. So once we install PostgreSQL, so that is also straightforward, guys. You can just Google search and you can download and click next, next, next. That's it. There is no nothing complex in that. So that's why I'm not making any session on that, on a recorded session on that. Now select this create desktop shortcut so that like every time you want to start DBeaver, you can quickly go from your desktop. Click on finish, and now we should see a shortcut installed on the desktop. Now let me just double click it to start that database tool. And now here you can see that it is mentioned here that this is Universal Database Manager, because the reason for that is, as I told you, so we can connect to any database using this database tool, right? And now it is asking, do you want to create a sample database? Let me click yes, right? It can be used as an example to explore basic DBeaver features. Click yes, and let us create that. To improve, yeah, click on confirm here. And this is how the UI looks like. And here you can see, if you want to establish a new database connection, you can use Control-Shift-N. If you want to access the recent SQL script, use Control Enter, etc., etc. You have some shortcuts being displayed here, and it is yeah, it has created one database. It is creating the database, guys. So it is showing some files required. So force download or overwrite. Let me select this and download. Let me click on force download. Or I don't have this files actually. So I'll just select. I'll just click on download. Force download means if you already have some drivers or these driver files, so you need to select force download or overwrite. But this is the first time that I'm installing DBeaver on this laptop, so I don't have any drivers already. DBeaver, these drivers are JDBC drivers. Nothing is there on this machine. This is a new laptop, and I'm setting up, like a fresh instance. I'm doing a fresh installation on this particular machine. So now it is loading that sample database. Let it happen. And meanwhile, let me quickly show you how to, how to start that PostgreSQL that I installed on my machine. So go to services, or you can go to the task manager as well. And now search for PostgreSQL. See, there are a lot of services. And now select any service and just type the first letter P to go to see all the programs that start with letter P. And now you can see all the services that start with letter P, and somewhere you will see that PostgreSQL. Scroll down and they will be mostly in alphabetical order. PostgreSQL, here it is, guys. So here you can see that it is already running on my machine. Okay. By default, the startup type will be automatic. I had set it manual so that, I'll start it whenever I need it. Right. So you can set it as automatic also. But what happens is, by default, it will be automatic basically. If you select automatic, every time you start your machine, this database will be started. So I don't want to let that happen. So I had set the startup type as manual. And currently it is running. As you see here, you can see the stop button, stop the service. You can see the status over here. This PostgreSQL is running on my machine, and this is PostgreSQL 16th version. That is the latest version of PostgreSQL. So DBeaver is still creating or downloading the sample database. Let it happen. Downloading the driver files. So let it happen. Maybe this is part of setting up the sample database. So in the next session, I'm going to show how to connect to what parameters are required, what information is required to connect to a database from a database tool like DBeaver, and also MySQL, right? How to connect to MySQL database on our machine or any other remote machine. I have MySQL installed on my remote machine. I'll do one thing. I'll show you how to connect to a MySQL database installed or running on another machine, remote machine. Let me pause recording, guys. I'll resume recording once this is done to save some time, to save your time. So meanwhile, please follow our Insta page, guys. Go to instagram.com and search for MGM IT Training and follow our Insta page, where we are sharing a lot of information, spending a lot of time and effort to share a lot of useful stuff on that, as you can see here. So we are not only sharing referral openings, but we are sharing some interview skills and soft skills, right? And communication do's and don'ts, right? And whenever there is a walk-in or whenever we get some referral openings, right? We are sharing a lot of such useful information. So whenever we know new batch updates, right? So please follow our Insta page. As you see here, we are sharing a lot of stuff. And this is our Amirpet classroom address. Okay, it is quite adjacent to Amirpet metro station, guys. And please scan this code to see our social media presence. We are available on Facebook and YouTube and Insta and LinkedIn and WhatsApp. Okay, right now we are not actively using Twitter, but this is our this takes you to all once you scan if you scan this QR code, it will take you to all our uh, you know uh, social media presence. It will show you our social media presence. All right. Now this is done, guys. The sample database setup is done. The required files are, also the required files are also downloaded. Now let me show you. So first, let me show you how to connect to a database from this machine to, this is my new laptop, guys. Why I'm saying this is I have two laptops right now with me, and this is my new laptop, on which I am running this DBeaver tool. All right. So let me do one thing. So hold on, guys. Just give me a moment. All right. So now you can see here, so there is another machine with me, whose name is PerfTest. So I named it as PerfTest. Let's assume that, your application is running on this machine. So basically my another application is running on this machine. So MySQL, where I have MySQL database and Tomcat installed on that machine. And let's assume that, this is our JMeter machine. This is the machine from which we are running JMeter. Okay. I mentioned the machine name here. This is Lenovo ThinkPad now. So let me show you that for your information. So you can check the machine name with the help of this command host name. So this is the machine name, and on which which I am using as a load generator machine. Okay. Load generator machine means the machine from which we are going to run the test. And let me quickly check the IP address, because IP address is dynamic. So let me check the IP address and update it here. Yeah. You can see here 192.168.1.2 is the current IP address of this machine. Now I have one more machine on which I am running, I'm having my Tomcat, my application running. So this is the application, for example, this is the application that I am running on my another machine. which is a remote machine. Now let me quickly, and the IP address of that machine is 192.168.1.7. I'll show you that once I log into that machine. I'll show you that. And now how to connect to this machine, guys? Most of you know, right? So, and these are the prerequisites, of course. These are the prerequisites that are required if you want to do a performance test. If you want to start any performance test, both machines should be connected to the same subnet or network, and remote desktop connection should be enabled if I want to connect to that machine remotely. And we need to know the IP address and login credentials of the remote machines. And we need to check the connectivity between different machines using this machine and another machine using ping command, right? And the ping command and all, I cover this in the performance testing fundamentals in the first 1 week of our training. Let me quickly show you that. So we named it as, know your computer. So where we cover some computer fundamentals. Okay. Starting with operating system, what is operating system, how to check system configuration, what is meant by IP address, what is public IP, private IP. All these concepts will be covered in the first week of the live training in our performance testing, regular performance testing training days. All right. So now, let's assume that this is your test environment on which I am having my application under test or system under test. Means the whatever application I want to do performance testing is running on this machine called perf tester. And now let's assume that this is your JMeter machine. So to help you understand, or to make that clear, I kept a Apache JMeter logo on the desk as a desktop background, right? And now I'm going to use this machine as my load generator machine if you want to do some performance testing. So we'll discuss that later in some other session, like how to do how to use how to run a test from another machine and all. We'll discuss that. So for now, let me quickly show you how to connect to that remote machine. So you can type mstsc or else to get a remote desktop connection window, or else you can go to Windows search box and type remote here. You get this icon, remote desktop connection, and we need to know the host name or IP address of that machine. So as IP address is dynamic normally, so I prefer to use host name. So host name will not change unless until we change it manually. So I entered the host name of the machine and username. Username is Pavan on that machine. And I am, of course, you need to know the host name and credentials of that machine. So I had already entered credentials, and now let me quickly connect to that machine. So basically, we need to know the host name and credentials of a remote machine. And now it is securing a remote connection to that machine. And guys, for this, now you can see that, I am connected to that machine. Let the UI load for that machine. Yeah. And now if you observe here, I am having, let me show you, let me go to services and let me show you that MySQL is running on this machine and it is up and running now. As you can see here, MySQL is running on this machine and it is running currently. So let me close this services. It will be still running. Now let me show you how to connect from our local machine to that remote machine. Okay. So or how to establish connectivity to that machine. Okay. How to create a new database connection. Shortcut is Control-Shift-N as you see here. Let me click that Control-Shift-N. And now observe here, it will give an option to select your database, by the way. So I want to connect to MySQL on another machine. So even if it is on this machine, you'll simply enter, your local host here. So if MySQL is running on the local machine, you need to enter local host here. So in my case, however, but in real-time environment, you will not have any database running on your office laptop. Let's assume that you want to connect to your database from your office laptop and you want to execute some SQL queries, right? So you need to know the host name of that machine. So in my case, the host name is perf-test and MySQL, this is the default port number of MySQL. All right. And the database name is, you also need to know the database name. Database name in my case is Ponakat_schema. Let me show you that. So I had opened it, and I had opened it on that machine. This is my remote machine on which my database is running, guys. And this is the schema name. Okay, this is my schema name or the database name, and you can see the JDBC URL as well. JDBC : MySQL localhost 3306 Ponakat schema. So however, as I am connecting from a remote machine, I am giving the machine name on which my database is running, and I am giving the database schema name. Okay. And now you need to enter, you also need to enter your username and password, credentials of that machine. So I remember that username is root. Let me quickly check that. Username is, you can right click and use edit connection. You can see here. Yeah. So this is the username, and I do remember the password of that database. Let me enter that password. Okay. And you enter username and password. And if required, like we'll do the driver settings and all. If required, we'll do that. First, let me, try to connect to that remote machine. So, and you need to enter the server host name or server name and database name and credentials of that root user. Okay. Or whatever user you want to connect. All right. And once you enter these details, you can click on test connection. If it is successful, it will show that, right? However, what is it saying? MySQL driver files are missing. Okay. Simply click on download. It will do that for you. It is downloading the required, MySQL driver files. Okay. So, and it is throwing an error, connection error, saying that public key retrieval is not allowed. So we can fix this issue. This is, we can fix this issue. Let me quickly show you that. So go to driver settings and go to driver properties. And there should be some property over here. Advanced. I think it is under advanced, or hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on, guys. Yes. This is a known issue. Let me fix this. Database documentation, network configure, driver properties. Yeah. You need to go to properties, and you need to select this allow public key retrieval to true. You need to set this to true. And now click on connection, test connection. What is it saying? Root using password. Yes. Access denied for user. Okay. So hold on, guys. Let me show you that how to fix this. Or let me do one thing. Let me show you how to, connect to the database on that machine itself. Hold on. Just let me give another try. Access denied for the user. Root at Lenovo ThinkPad. Okay. So probably, this is because we need to allow that remote connection. I'll do one thing. So let me click finish, and let me log into that machine, and let me show you how, how to connect to the database. For example, so this is a database schema on my remote machine. So now let me quickly show you, that how to execute queries once you set up this database tool on your machine. So how to execute these database queries? So type some query like this. For example, in this Konakart schema, there are hundreds of tables. If you go to databases and Konakart schema, there are hundreds of tables, as you see here. I think there are around 100 plus tables, and now orders is one of the table in that. All right. So orders is one of the table in that. Now what you need to do is, you just type in the query, and you use control enter to execute that query. Okay. So it is asking, the script to select. That's fine. So, and now you can see that, it is this query is executed. Orders select star from orders query is executed, and we got around how many we got around 10,000 plus rows. Actually, there are 10,000 plus rows, but like it has fetched only 10,000 rows, as you see here. Suppose if you want to see how many records are there in that orders table, so simply click on this icon, guys. I am putting my cursor here. Okay. And you see here, it will show you the tooltip is showing that calculate total row count. Click on that, and it will show you how many rows are there. Okay. Now you can see that there are total of 11,275 rows. Okay. In this particular orders table. So in that way, you can run some, SQL queries like this. If you want to run any, say, select query or update or delete query, right? So you can practice these SQL queries, by using these database tools. By using these database tools like DBeaver or DB Visualizer, Guys, these are the popular database tools, like, anyone expect from a performance engineer to be having some, basic SQL knowledge and how to execute some basic SQL queries. These two are more popular database tools, as you see here. And these are called as universal database tools because you can connect to any database. Now, coming back to this, I have PostgreSQL also installed on my machine. I can show you that, guys, even though I'm on, I am facing some issue with to connect to the database on the remote machine. On this local machine, I'm having PostgreSQL. Okay. So let me do that now. So let me use again the shortcut Control Shift N to create a new database connection and select that PostgreSQL. You see here, in this select your database window, you select the corresponding database. I think I have shown you just now that PostgreSQL is running on my machine. And once you select this database, click next. And again, you need to enter your this PostgreSQL is running on local machine, and this is the default port number of PostgreSQL. 5432 is the default port number. And if you select show all databases, it will show you all the databases. So this is the database name that it has automatically identified. And this is the username, and let me enter the password. Default password is admin. Okay, now let me click on test connection. Let me check this connection. So let it download the driver files. It is resolving dependencies and downloading the driver files. So let me quickly download these driver files. It is saying that PostgreSQL driver files are missing. So let me download these driver files. It may take some time. Let me pause recording. Right. Now you can see that, we are able to connect to the database, Postgres database on our machine. And the DBeaver is showing that it has connected to the database. Right. So now click OK here. It is showing the driver name as well here. So if you what does the details show you? So it is showing you all the driver file names. All right. This is the URL, JDBC URL for PostgreSQL, JDBC:PostgreSQL localhost 5432/Postgres. So this is the JDBC URL. Okay. For this PostgreSQL running on my machine, or that is a general URL. And you can anytime you can click on test connection to verify whether you are able to connect to the database or not. And now click on finish. Now you can see that like one database connection was created for PostgreSQL running on my local machine. And now you can you can expand that, and you can see what are the tables. If you already have some database, let me go to schema, and maybe this is a sample database. So you can see what all tables are there. Okay, I think no tables are there currently available now. So you can install some sample database as well, and you can run any queries, queries on that database. All right. So that's all for today, guys. And there, guys, you have some sample database over here, DBeaver sample that comes with the DBeaver tool by default. And if you want to practice SQL queries on this, you can also do, you can also practice on this. These are the different tables available. And you can see like what are the columns in that table, in album table or artist table. You can see what are the different columns available in that table, and what is the database structure of each table and all. All right. So that's all for today, guys. So this is all about universal database, one of the universal database tool called DBeaver. All right. So with this, I will close the session for today. And I hope let me give a quick recap of today's session. So basically, what we did is I had installed PostgreSQL on my local machine, a database called PostgreSQL. PostgreSQL is one of the popular database, open source database, which is used in many applications nowadays, right? So I had installed that PostgreSQL on my machine, and I started it from services, as you see here. And I made the startup type as manual, so that whenever I want that, I can run that database. If I'm not going to use it now, look, I can stop the service over here. So if it is automatic, like by default, it will be automatic. Automatic means as soon as the machine is started, your database will be running up and running. Okay, but I don't want that to happen, so I changed it to startup type to manual, and now it was stopped now. And now I had also shown you like how to download this DBeaver, a universal database tool called DBeaver, and set up on your machine, right? So you can Google search and you can download the latest version. So whenever you are doing this exercise, and this is DBeaver UI, and here I have shown you how to connect to a how to create a new database connection, right? At any point of time, if you want to see the details, you can right click and edit connection, and you can see the username and password. What is the username and password? What is the port number on which this database running, right? And all these details. All right, guys. So I'll stop it here for today. I'll catch you in the next session. And guys, please, if you like the efforts, our efforts in making these videos, today is Sunday evening. So I got some free time and I sat to make this session. So today is Sunday, 16th June. So if you like our efforts in bringing this content to you, please share your feedback. This recorded session will be uploaded as a public video on my YouTube channel. You can please share your feedback and subscribe and turn on all notifications. Please follow our Insta page to support us, and please learn some database if you are looking to pursue like performance testing career or even automation testing career or security testing career. You need to know some database concepts, basic database concepts. So please go through w3schools.com, and there are a lot of self-learning tutorials. And one more, wonderful thing is with this is you can practice any SQL queries without having any database installed on your machine. This is a wonderful feature with w3schools.com, guys. If you see here, like suppose if you want to run this query, right? By default, there are some queries, and you can run that SQL query. You need not have a database set up on your machine. All right. So you can do it from your mobile phone as well. You can browse this website and you can practice SQL queries from your mobile smartphone as well. All right. So if you want to, execute the same query on any other database, for example, so click on categories and now run that SQL, or click on employees table. So observe here, the query is changing dynamically, and you can practice some database queries like this. Okay. And you can you can practice a lot of SQL queries, not only select query, but any queries can be, you can practice any of these database queries and concepts. And all these are self-learning tutorials, absolutely free of cost. So those who are interested, to pursue career in performance testing, or even developers, if you want to practice some SQL queries, this is a wonderful resource, w3schools.com SQL tutorials. Thanks for watching till now, guys. See you in the next session. And we are conducting some, some free trainings. So please, don't miss those free trainings. Subscribe and turn on all notifications on my YouTube channel. Not only that, we are sharing some openings in India and abroad. In our, like you will get notifications, and you'll get updates on the new batches. Right now, tomorrow we are going to start, LoadRunner scripting is going to be started in the daily morning batch, 9 to 10 a.m. batch. We are running this as both online and offline training, right? So if possible, please attend offline training. So we are having very good success ratio in offline training than online training. Okay. So thanks for watching, guys. Please share your feedback. Thank you. So please let us know if you want, to make any videos on any of the concepts, right? So we will try to, we cannot assure, because we are already occupied with the 4 batches running currently. Morning 3 batches and evening 1 batch. We are having currently 4 batches, live training batches running, right? So we'll try to make some video, and if possible. And we are also doing a lot of free trainings. Let me quickly show you those. Some free trainings available on my YouTube channel. So we did one free training on performance testing with BlazeMeter. 3 sessions on performance testing with BlazeMeter. You can see here, this is 3rd session, and I should be having the other 2 sessions as well. So if you go there, you will find the playlist URL for that that particular concept. And also we made one free training. We gave we uploaded one, made and uploaded some 3 sessions on MongoDB performance testing. So if you don't want to miss these free trainings, so please turn on all notifications and have a look at our YouTube channel. Thank you, guys. This is signing off. This is Pavan from MGM IT Training. Thank you.